Thanks for joining the HomeMatters podcast with Eric and Gena Boggs, where they lead authentic, raw discussions about marriage, family life, kids, intimacy, and sex from a biblical perspective. Now here's your host, Eric and Gena Boggs.
Well, welcome to HomeMatters.
HomeMatters podcast.
Episode number 9.
Yes.
We're so glad you joined us.
We sure are. I'm excited about today's topic.
Are you?
Yeah. I like this.
Excited because of the possibilities?
Yeah.
That's good.
I am.
Good thing.
I am. This is a good one.
We know that as you're out there, you're doing different things, and hopefully we can say something today to encourage your marriage,
your
home
relationship.
life.
That's right. That's our desire. Hey,
yeah.
we want to see your marriage be better. God's always got better.
Whole family.
And even if it's really good right now, it can be better.
Always room for improvement.
That's right.
We've been doing
Always
this for
room to grow.
36 years as far as marriage, and
That's right.
doing family for longer than that, right? If we count our time as kids, and
That's right.
understanding it's in family and both good and positive light.
Family's a good thing.
Yeah,
Family's a good
and
thing.
we just want you to know that whatever place you find yourself right now, that your home matters. And
It does. Hey, share the podcast. Do that for us.
yeah, always.
Visit us on homematters.family. We have a blog there on the website, too. We didn't mention that a whole lot, but
Blog.
you can
Where
check
did they
it.
ever get that name? Blog.
I have no idea.
It's not a pleasant sounding word, really.
Okay, what you want to call it? We'll rename it.
I would call it a blip before I'd call it a blog. At least
Okay.
it sounds like it going places, right? Like
A blip does?
Blimp.
I have no idea.
See how I
I'm
relate
not
that?
sure why or how we got him on this conversation, but
Oh, the topic for today, I guess we better get on to
getting
it.
away. Getaways.
The getaways.
Yeah.
And with that, you say, well,
That's a
what
good
in the
thing.
world are you talking about? We're talking about you just taking a place
Mm-hmm.
or having a place in your life that you exit the routines, that
That's
you
right.
get away from the regular
Time, yeah, just to
day-to-day grind.
Yeah, refresh your relationship, refocus on marriage, on each other, on your relationship, and just really getting away from the distractions of everyday life. I
Yeah,
mean,
every one
everyday
of
life,
us.
the grind.
You know,
is that
you know what
way.
it's like to get in that place where you just life. You're chasing kids. You got all this stuff going on with work. You're involved with the church. All these things are going on, and it's so important that you learn the importance of those breakaway getaways.
That's right. And all
some
those
of
things
those-
are good. Those things you noted or you mentioned there. I mean, kids, we're not talking about getting away from your kids for good.
Yeah.
Church, you should be involved in your church. You should be involved in your community.
Yeah.
All these things. But I think that that can just become rut and routine, and we're not as effective as we could be. And if you get away, come
I
back,
know that we have
time we're more
we have
effective.
a lot of probably married couples out there that listen, but I know some single parents as well.
Yeah,
And even with that, sometimes you have to get away and break the routine.
that's right.
You may do that with kids.
Step back a little bit.
Or it may be that you got a good friend or family member that can
That'll help out.
help with the kids, and you get away. What we talk about primarily today is, I think, that marriage getaway, that marriage, those marriage, can I call it sabbatical, where
Yes, you
if
can.
you talk about a Sabbath or sabbatical, and if you look back in Scripture, you know that a sabbatical is a time that every week that you're shutting everything down, and you're getting away from the work, you're getting away from the routine.
That's a
if you
good
will.
thing too.
And
Biblical, right?
yeah, to refresh, to refocus,
Yeah.
to re-energize. And in our society, we don't do very well with that. We don't do very well with that individually.
And the purpose of that Sabbath was to step back and, just focus on our relationship
Yeah.
with God, spend time with Him, slow down. And not that we don't do that other days of the week, but that Sabbath was just special time given to Him.
Great book. I throw these out there every once in a while. I don't know if I'll ever get.
Yeah. Brady boy.
You think I'll ever get any kickback on that?
feedback? I doubt it. But mention
They
it
won't ever-
anyway.
Okay. This is not the one by Brady Boyd. I've mentioned that
okay.
before. This is one by Robert Morris. The title of it's "Take the Day Off," and again, he talks about the fact that the Sabbath or the sabbatical that you take that Sabbath for the purpose of giving everything rest, but it also, when you're able to step back and step away, it also actually reveals your heart's trust toward God, that you realize that life continues and the world keeps spinning, and you'll have what you need, even if you do step back from all the responsibilities, from all the work.
That's
and
good.
Man, it's a great book. Robert Morris, Take the Day Off. Take the day off.
Take the day off. That's right. Everybody's going to be calling in.
Yeah.
You're the reason.
Yep.
Eric and I
That's
do.
not
And
from
you've
here.
heard us mention our Marriage Matters Getaways. We have one of those coming up, and you can check the website out about some of those and future ones. But anyway, that whole Marriage Matters Getaway was birthed as a kind of an arm of the HomeMatters ministry, because I'd say maybe about 10 years in our marriage and in our relationship, we found, man, the importance, the value, the fun, just of getting away. And man, we were a few years in before we discovered that.
And some of that was because we just didn't have much opportunity.
Yeah, true.
You know, for several of those years, we got small kids, and in that time, you know, you start out and, you know, your jobs and all the demands and
everything's so
and
demanding.
you got all these things. Before you know it, you're kind of in a rut, and then, you know, you have these demands with children. It's hard
That's
to.
right.
We joke about it, but there wasn't a lot of people standing in line to babysit 4 kids under the age of 6 or 7.
6,
you know?
yeah.
And,
all of them were born by the time the oldest was 6. But we just began to see the value and what that time away was able to do for us, and just bringing some refocus and giving us some time away. So that's kind of what that was birthed out of. And we've just held to that through the years, and that's where those getaways came from, because we understand that it's so important for your marriage relationship, for you individually, to step back sometimes. And it's hard to do that because schedules are crazy.
Rekindle the love.
That's right.
The romance.
We're going to look at some of those benefits of a getaway,
overall relationship
here in a minute. But just seeing, and I know finances, sometimes you're like, well, we can't afford to do that. We can't. And we didn't always, you know, we weren't always jumping on a jet plane, flying away, or getting on a cruise ship. We couldn't do that either.
Still wouldn't mind doing that more than we do.
Yeah, we should do. Let's plan a getaway.
Let's do it.
If we're going to talk about it, we need to plan one,
That's
right?
exactly right.
But just if it's a dinner, you know, if it's just a night out, a date, I mean, and if you can't even go to the finest restaurant in town, I mean, man, go through the drive-through and go park somewhere. Could you do that?
Yeah.
Just some getaway time.
Get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Go to McDonald's.
Don't leave your kids out home.
Order a basket of fries.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Enjoy
your time.
Enjoy your day.
But it's the thing that keeps us from that. It always seems like there's something that's so important, right?
Absolutely. We kind of label that the tyranny of the urgent. You know, everything seems so urgent. And I know we've said it too. We can't get away. We can't get away. But Eric said it earlier. The world will keep turning. Right? Your job is not going to, you know, everything's not going to fall apart if you're missing. And, you know, we're not encouraging you just to stay out of work either. We do have to hold our job, be faithful, committed to that. But I'm just saying, a lot of times we think those things are so urgent.
Sure we do.
There is nothing that affects all of that, your job, your finances, your other relationships, any more than this marriage relationship if you're married.
Yeah.
So there has to be time.
And we understand there are limits. You know, everybody with their jobs or whatever, they have limited days, limited vacations.
Right.
Most everybody does anyway. You know, I always have told guys, you know, that have time. I've told some of our guys around in our life, I've told them, well, you know, have you ever had anybody at the end of the year when you had vacation days left, have you ever had anybody come up and say, hey, just want to say thanks for you not taking your vacation days. You lost them. You burned them. We burned them for you.
We appreciate you.
Usually may carry over. You hope you do. But we just encourage you to take those times and those days, the factory, the office, everything. hopefully it's set up anyway to where it's going to continue without you anyway. If you're self-employed, again, I know there are limits with that.
That's right.
I know the feeling of that, especially early on. You've got those limitations. You may be the only guy, and if you're not there, it's not happening. But please, all we're saying is somehow work it in your schedule that you don't allow all the demands
That's true.
of life and all those things that seemingly stand in the way of you doing what we're talking about. You don't allow those to always control your life, control your marriage.
They can control you. Yeah, they do. And, in the beginning of your relationship, man, it was right up there, top priority, wasn't it? I mean, we'd do whatever we could, have time together, to get to do things together. And what happens through the years and through, growing a family and making a living and all those things, paying the bills, is our marriage relationship just kind of begins to drop on down the line. It's second, and then it's third, and then it's fourth, and
the priority
and we just don't
list
spend
of
time. Yeah,
things that are valuable and important. And again, all of us would say, if we're married, would say, yeah, my marriage is priority, or most everybody would, I would hope. But it's so easy with even that in your mind and in your intent. It's so easy for that to slip down the list.
That's true.
It become lower and lower and lower on the list of priorities. And we're just saying that, man, you got to make a priority out of it. You got to work at it. You got to be very intentional.
Intentional.
You got to plan, right? You got to save some money, maybe.
Yeah, put some money back. Man, we put money back for a lot of other things, right?
Sure do.
For a boat or a car, or a new dress, or the diamond, or whatever you're interested in.
I'm a gun guy.
Put money back for the gun. But
so again, little
just
pocket
put
change
some money
to put back.
Man, to spend some time on your marriage, spend some time on your relationship. I
know guys will sacrifice all kinds of time to get to do their hobby, and they'll do everything they can, and gals too.
That's true,
right? But
that's true.
But I'm just saying that, man, if we do that, let's make sure, and nothing against that, unless that is taking precedent or priority over your marriage.
That's right.
And we got to make sure that never happens.
Yeah. Again, if this is moving along the way it should be, this relationship, this marriage relationship, I guarantee it's going to make everything else in your life better.
Everything.
Better. Listen, we believe the Getaway is not just something that Eric and Gena Boggs say you need to do. It's not our big idea. It is biblical. We believe that, the Lord laid that plan out for us. Yeah. He commands us to come apart. He did it.
Yeah.
Jesus did it. And if Jesus needed time away, God in the flesh come to earth, if he needed time away, absolutely. We do too. We need time away. Let's go to the Song of Solomon.
Yeah.
Love the Song of Solomon.
Steamy little book there.
Yes, it is. And in chapter 7,
take time to read it together sometime.
That'd be a good thing.
Steamy
you do
little
that
book.
On your getaway. Yeah,
the romance.
That's right. Song of Solomon, chapter 7. There are a couple verses there, verse 11 through 13, that we've used for decades as just the foundation for our Marriage Matters getaways, and it's always on our print.
And by the way, Marriage Matters getaways, you can find out about them on HomeMatters.family.
That's right. We would love for you to go with us.
Love for you to go.
That's right. Let me read this passage to you, straight out of Song of Solomon. This is a good one. Come, my love, let us go out into the fields and spend the night among the wildflowers. Let us get up early, go to the vineyards to see if the grapevines have budded, if the blossoms have opened, and if the pomegranates have bloomed. There I will give you my love. There the mandrakes give off their fragrance, and the finest fruits are at our door, new delights as well as old, which I have saved for you, my love.
I like that.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
That's an invitation.
Sounds like things, if you get away, sounds like there's some plans for things to happen.
It does. They had plans in the Song of Solomon.
Sure did.
There is an invitation. Come, let's go. Let's get away.
Let's rekindle the love.
Let's rekindle the passion and the romance, the intimacy,
the fire.
That's right.
Let's make sure we work at that. We get away. We're going to get away from everybody and everything, and the phones and the kids. And,
that's right. Put the iPad
job,
down and the phone. You said it. Yeah. Put those things down and focus on one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some benefits in getting away. We kind of mentioned these.
All kinds of benefits.
Yeah,
and we got some things kind of in our list of things. Excuse me if I made a noise there when I bumped there. But, that we hit this thing that man, if those getaways, why do I want to do that? Here's some of the reasons.
All right, one of them, it just strengthens and renews your bond.
Yeah.
Your bond, your oneness. Can we put it that way?
Yeah.
Again, because a lot of times in home we're going in different directions. Maybe just speak in the morning and kiss on the cheek at the night.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a hurry. There's a lot going on. But when you take that time away, it renews and strengthens your bond.
We found that it gives us a new perspective. It changes our perspective. If we step away a little bit, you change your perspective about life. You can be stressed to the hilt on something.
That's so
and,
true.
Get away for a little bit,
Yeah.
and it kind of changes your perspective about it. That word perspective is it's an architectural term, but again, it's in design of buildings or whatever. You have to gain perspective for you to see it properly.
Yeah.
And
you know, when you're in the middle of it and that's all you can see, sometimes that is stressful.
it'll help you to.
Yeah.
And it may help you to change your perspective of something that you think is maybe a lot worse than it really is.
That's true. You can just kind of step back and look at it all, and you know what is important in the end. You know, that one thing might be driving us. But what about this? A time of rediscovery.
Wow.
Man, like you just sometimes I think you just forget who that person is sometimes. You know, you hear these couples that, you know, maybe they never do a getaway. Marriage kind of grows apart while they're trying to raise their kids. And then the children move off. They go to college. They get married. They move out of the home. Empty nest. And then the husband and wife look at each other like,
Who are
okay,
you?
where have you been and what are you doing here? And, you know, because all of a sudden, there we are again, just the two of us. And so all along in that relationship, if we can continually just rediscover who is this person that I've fallen in love with, who is this love of my life, who is this man that lives in this house with me, we just rediscover again who the other is.
What about this one? It really gives an opportunity for a lot of for your friendship to continue to develop. It gives opportunity for a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Together, or we hope it
so
does,
much
or
fun
should.
On getaways. Yeah,
Right.
just
Really
do silly things, or maybe just
talk about fun. What about this? What about your sex life?
Yeah. What about your intimate life?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, rekindle your intimate life. Listen, when there are little tiny kids at home, that's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, even if you shut the doors, like there comes that knock.
And again, we
or
know
they
that's the
open the door.
That's the big taboo that we don't talk about in church among Christians, but we just encourage you along the way, and we'll say
That's
this
right.
along the way.
God
Make
says
sure
a
you
lot about
realize,
it.
that God says a lot about it, and it was His big idea.
That's
God
right.
created the sexual relationship between a husband and his wife.
He
That's
did.
where it should thrive. That's where it should flourish. And it's sad when you hear couples who've been married, just maybe a couple of years, and everything's fallen to the place of it's dull, it's
Just
boring,
bored.
the romance is dead. And they may hook up every once in a while, but the romance, the love relationship, the intimate relationship is not there.
Man, you need to get away so you can have some uninterrupted, just intimate time together.
Sexual time together.
That's right.
Yeah, we're not scared of that word, are we?
No, not scared of that word.
But it's something that in that everything, all these places in your life can really begin to flourish if you
right.
just, again, step away from the busyness and the routine.
Take the time. It takes time to build a relationship, and we all put time in on the front side.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't expect to never put time in, never make a deposit, if you can say it that way. Just like at a bank where you go, if you don't ever make deposits, there's nothing to draw from.
Right.
And so that getting away, that spending time with one another is just making an investment.
Look, it ultimately is good for everything in your house.
Yes, it
your
is.
HomeMatters.
It's good for your family.
Good for your kids.
Yeah, I hear families say, especially mamas, let me talk to you for just a minute, because sometimes we don't want to leave those babies. Listen, your child will survive until you get back home.
Yeah.
And I know
if you
we
got
don't,
a good babysitter, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. We better leave them with, just don't leave them watching each other. Please
leave them in
don't
good
do
hands.
that. That's right. But even your child needs time away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so...
and it helps your kids to see mom and dad still love each other.
That's right.
They live with confidence. Again, when a kid's confident that mom and dad's not divorcing, that they're not going to split up, it gives them all kinds of confidence that that is the only place that can be nurtured.
That's right. And so it's not just good for you, it's good for your kids. And it shows your kids the importance of marriage too.
Yeah.
It just begins to teach them how a marriage. Look, your marriage is the only one that they have access to day in and day out to know how to be modeled in front of them, for them to know how marriage should work.
Yeah.
So, man, got to get away.
You heard about the farmer couple?
About the farmer? Tell me
in the
about
Midwest,
it. You got kind of a joke for us?
Yeah, they're
great.
they're lying in bed and the storm's approaching, and
Like a
all
tornado?
of a sudden, a tornado comes in, moves in, blows them out of their home. They're spinning around in their bed.
In the air?
And he looks over and she's crying, and he says, "Listen, this is not the time to cry."
Oh.
And she says, "Well, I can't help it." He said, "Why can't you help it?" She said, "I've just been waiting for so long for us to be able to get away together."
That's great.
That's a terrible joke.
They're trying to get away. Oh, that's not the. Hey, if that's the only way you get away, you should be ashamed. That's right.
That's right. Hey, we hope your life. We hope your marriage, your family. We hope it flourishes.
Together.
Yeah, you got to have fun together. You got to laugh at each other, even if it's a stupid joke.
That's right.
Don't wait 20 years to get away together, to get out together.
Please
right?
don't. Please don't.
We just encourage you. Listen, always your home matters.
Yes, it does.
And we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
God bless you.